Concealer is something that everybody comes to me and says, I need a concealer for under my eye, or I need a concealer for this blemish, and they're not sure, should I get a thicker consistency, should I get something thin, what's the best for me? And it does change from person to person, so you kind of have to ask yourself, how big of a blemish do you have to hide, or how dark are your under eye circles? What are you trying to conceal? If you don't need something that's full coverage, then you don't want something that's thick in a pot and doesn't move. You want to get a concealer that's liquidy, something that's light and you can build it. But if you have something that's really horrendous on your face and you need to cover it, then you need to pull out the big guns and get a little pot of concealer, something a little heavier, and really pack it on. Our model today doesn't really have something horrendous to cover, so we're going to use a medium consistency concealer. First, I'm just going to prep our skin with a little bit of an illuminating primer. This is great because when your skin is in good condition, you don't really need foundation, powder, concealer. You just want to conceal those little red spots and maybe go from there with a light powder. You know, you don't have to cover your face in tons of makeup. So we're just going to do concealer today and show how you can perfect your skin and still be able to see the skin underneath all that makeup. I'm using a tiny, fluffy brush. It's both synthetic and natural fiber. This way it doesn't absorb the product. I'm just going to start under the eye. And some people have a lot of purple hues under their eyes, or blue. And then you might need to get yourself a color corrector, something to cancel out those tones before you conceal. But you'll know if you put your concealer on and it's not doing the job, that it's time to go back in and get another product. Piper, our model, actually has a darker tone on her forehead from the center of her face, probably from being out in the sun. When this happens, you want to mix a different color, something a little bit darker on the edge, and then something lighter in the center. Because some people do have 2 to 3 different tones on their face. This is just a face mist. It has a little bit of vitamin E, caffeine, a lot of different things to invigorate the skin. And it's great because you can use it to sheer out product. So if you put too much on and you want to kind of move it around. And then one other thing I always tell my clients with concealer is don't put it on your eye. If you want to look down Piper really quickly, you can see Piper's eyes are very sheer. It's a very delicate, thin skin on the eyelid. And you can see that redness right there. If you put concealer on your eye, it's just going to crease. So when you have that redness along your eyelid, what you want to do is use an eye base to conceal that, because an eye base isn't going to crease throughout the day, but it's going to give you a little bit of coverage, and it also creates a wonderful canvas to put your eyeshadow on. So now you can see how you can use concealer to perfect your skin without going in with a foundation or anything. We haven't even put powder on. Our skin was perfect and ready to go. So you can start now with blush, eyeshadow, and go from there. Just to refresh, the steps for using concealer to perfect the skin would be to start with a clean face, maybe put a little bit of primer on, something that's got a little iridescence to it, and then pick a concealer that works for you. Lighter coverage is going to be something more liquidy. Fuller coverage is going to be something that's more packed into a pot. And only put it where you need it, and just sheer it out with a fluffy synthetic brush. Maybe use a little bit of our face mist or something to kind of moisten the skin to move that product around. And then you're set to go on to the next step.